All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started. And again, welcome. This is the official launch of the Real Traders Club. And I just, nothing short of trying to have the best online trading community ever. So just to give a quick agenda how these sessions run, we analyze the overall market. To say, what's the big picture? What's going on in the market right now? We look at the current news, and then we look at a chart and look at the big picture. And if there is a day trade opportunity, then we go ahead and point that out. Sometimes there's, it looks like there's something setting up, and there might be, so we give a little roadmap if there's going to be an opportunity potentially. So here's how we start. And I like this CNBC. I'm going to point out a handful of websites that we use that just provide super valuable information, and they're all free, and that's really a good deal. So we start with CNBC. Here's a dashboard. It gives us a nice picture of, what's going on overall in the market. Dow's down a little bit, 18 points. S&P's down about 0.61%. NASDAQ down nearly 0.5%. Oil is up. What a surprise, 106. Gold is up a little bit. And there's typically some big headlines, what's going on. And they always get a good picture. Look at this dude's face. Stocks fall on Friday, led by Amazon, as the NASDAQ heads for the worst month since March 2020, which was, of course, the beginning of the pandemic. And the dude looks like he's in shock. If you were watching the financial news yesterday, am I not sharing? Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Here's the dashboard. U.S. markets are red across the top. Oil is up, gold is up, and here's this guy. You got to see that expression. It's like, what happened, right? Because if you were watching the financial news yesterday, right, because yesterday was a big up day. It was like, okay, the April sell-off is over. We're back on track. Bull market running. Never mind GDP, a quarter of contraction, and one more would be a recession. Life is good. And all of a sudden now it's like, whoa. It's not. So stocks fall on Friday. Amazon leads the NASDAQ for the worst month since the pandemic started. What does that chart look like? There's some interesting stuff on the S&P 500 chart. Let me share that. So we're using the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, because that's a great trading vehicle. And some of you went through the 3 days to transform your trading. I had a training series, and so you saw support, resistance, all kinds of stuff, handful of pretty simple, repeatable tools in our trading. So I just want to review what we use in our trading, and I'll use it here on the S&P 500 chart. First thing we look for when we pull up a chart is support and resistance levels. Support level is where price came down and then reversed up. Came down, reversed up. You look at the SPY here. I'll make this purple so we can see it, and I'll turn up the weight just a little bit so we can see it even better, right? No magic to this. You can just see SP 500 came down, went up, came down, went up, came down, went up. That's a support level, right? And as this was dropping, we were considering taking a short, but that happened so fast, and by the time there was a time to get an entry, you were down here and you go, man, we got this support level. It could reverse, and it sure did. Now, if it goes down again and it goes through this level, look out below, because here we go. And I'll step out and zoom just a little bit here, and I'll show you why. So the market, moves up and down in normal, healthy cycles, and we use a simple, repeatable version of Elliott wave, just analyzing impulsive moves and corrective moves. And when a correction begins, it quite often corrects to a Fibonacci level, 38.2 to 61.8. That's these blue lines. And so the forecast and just the objective analysis is if we break through this support level, this purple line, we are likely going down into this zone with a midpoint at about 362. It's a pretty big drop, and there could be some real trading opportunities. There's things to short. You could short the index itself. You could short individual participants, and there are stocks and ETFs. When the market goes down, they go up. So There could be lots of trading opportunities when that happens. So you'll also see on my chart, I use draw lines, support, resistance. We look at gaps. We look at trends. We draw trend lines. And as we bring charts up, we will demonstrate that. You can see I've got this shaded area in price action. That's the Ichimoku cloud, and I use an alternative setup for the Ichimoku cloud. And at the end of this, I'll tell you how you can get that if you're interested in that. You can see I got a price oscillator. This just shows us the confirmation of trends and the magnitude and momentum. You can see when the trend is strong, the amplitude of the oscillator is bigger, and when it's not as strong, it's smaller. It's helpful to get a confirmation of trend change. People ask about that pink dot. The pink dot is just looking back 144 price bars and saying, what was the strongest move in the last 144 price bars? You'll see us occasionally have some triangles. And when Eva shows her chart, these will be enabled. I'll go ahead and turn them on here. And people go, what are those triangles? You see the red triangle, the green triangles. These are called pyramid trading points. It's an indicator from traderscoach.com. It's very helpful because part of our analysis is using Dow theory, looking at, a trend confirmation is a low, lower high, new low. We can see the pyramid helped identify that. Low, lower, high, new low. Low, lower, high, new low. So the pyramids help us see trend changes. A minor pyramid means it could just be a corrective move. A major pyramid means that's a bigger move. Okay, so you'll see these indicators on our chart: the Ichimoku cloud, the price oscillator, the pyramids, and these lines. The heavy white line is it's a simple 200-day moving average. The lighter one is a 50-day moving average. We like it because quite often it is these moving averages can present support and resistance area, and then when price breaks through, it can be very significant. And so that's pretty much it. Those are the indicators, and to participate in the Real Traders Club, you don't have to go buy anything, right? You get a membership to the club. We're showing you this stuff. Right? If you decide that would be helpful for your trading, you're welcome to go buy the pyramids or something. But there's no software to buy to participate here. You will get full benefit from our analysis just by having a membership. Okay. So in terms of an agenda for the Real Traders Club, we look at the market. I just showed you that. We often look at the intraday moves like this. I look at a 10-minute chart, and so I've got the S&P 500 here, the Dow here, the NASDAQ here. And like we can see today, boy, it's just choppy, isn't it? Because, big up day yesterday, we mentioned that, everybody knows that. Big up day. Overnight, it drifted down, and now it's, it's just kind of chopping back and forth between these levels right here, kind of in a channel. And that's tough to trade. So I would not be trying to day trade that unless it really breaks out and starts a definitive trend. Okay. Yesterday, it was awesome. It opened down, and then we had this high, higher low, new high breaking above the cloud. That was a great day trade, and that could have been fun, right? If you were able to trade that and had some rules for that. Today, it's a little twitchy. It's just in a channel, and sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. All right. We do maintain a watch list. So myself and Eva, some of the other traders who contribute here, we have a variety of ways to go scan the market and find trade candidates, great trades that meet all of our criteria. And then typically when you find a trade, it's not quite ready yet. So you're looking for some final confirmation. So we put it on what's called a watch list, and we put, what that trigger level would be, and then we come back to it and watch it like you would a watch list. And then when it qualifies, we go ahead and take the trade. And sometimes it never qualifies, and then we'll eventually take it off the watch list. So the watch list is candidates. We typically have 15 or 20, 25 symbols that we're tracking. And in a session like this, I'll have done some scanning. Eva will have done some scanning, bring some ideas in, and then you guys bring ideas in. we look at them and the best ones we put on the watch list, and we ultimately end up taking trades from that. And like, here's a trade we took 9 days ago. We went short on Charles Schwab, and that option contract is in 102% profit. And we were watching it. We knew it gapped down on earnings 10%. And when it came back up into this gap and started down again, we took that trade at this blue line. And now we're down to here. And now we're watching it as it approaches this support level. You can see how, boy, support is powerful. It's starting to flatten. If it won't break through there, we're going to go ahead and close that trade. But, you know, we've already got a super nice win on it. So that was on our watch list. When it gapped, we wanted to see it go up and then come down. And when it started doing that, we jumped on it. So that's just a good example of how that works. One of the other things we're going to demonstrate, and, you know, we take at Follow Me Trades, we take risk management very, very, very seriously. It's part of, it's how trading is successful, right? So when we look at a trade, right, and we bring up a trade candidate, you're going to see us, and let's look at maybe Apple. So we're not taking Apple at this time because look at it, it's a mess right now. It's not in any kind of clear trend. You know, it's just doing this. And look how it hits the 200-day moving average and bounces. So you could, you know, say, oh, I want to go long. It's going to bounce up off here, but it's below the Ichimoku cloud. And it's below the 50-day moving average. And so that it's got to get through that because that's real resistance. It's two indicators saying it could stall there. But a typical analysis would be, well, if Apple gets above there, maybe we would be interested in it. And so that would be an entry line. And then we would go, if it does that, where would our stop be? Well, we would put a stop either at this low where it pivoted or, you know, the 200 has been a good support level. So we would put a stop there and we just make that red. And then we would look for the target. Well, we got this really strong pivot, this resistance level. It pivoted here before, and that's pretty close to the all-time high. So we say, you know, if it did nothing more, now it could go higher, but we want to be conservative, right? And say, if it stalled there, would this trade make sense? And now we look at the risk to reward. The risk is the difference between our entry and our stop as a ratio to the entry to the target. And you can see they're nearly equal. It's probably 1.1, 1.2. So that's a little thin because you want your winners to be bigger than your losers, right? So you're going to see us do that. So I'm just trying to give some background for guests, right, new folks here about what we're doing, what the indicators are, what we're looking for when we look at a chart. And when we pull it up, we'll say right away, not so great. But we may offer some background on why. And then if we see one and go, hey, that looks good, we'll lay it out in some more detail. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and introduce and turn it over to Eva now. I mentioned Eva earlier, and she started as a customer about 5 years ago, went through all the training, got really good as a trader, and then I got pretty busy here at Follow Me Trades, and I had, said, hey, anybody interested in joining the team? She raised her hand, and it's been a great fit, and she really, she's a great trader. Her analysis of charts is going to be 99% what I'm doing. We all got our own little twist, but it's been a joy having her be part of the team, and many of the customers are very fond of Eva. So Eva, why don't you go ahead and take it over, and let's jump into the watch list and some trade, some analysis here and some candidates.
Okay, and thank you for the kind words, Dean. I want to just tell anyone, enter any symbols you're interested in looking at into the chat, and we will look at those also. So if you want to start putting your ideas, thoughts you would like to have looked at in the chat, that's great. But often what we do is we start with the watch list, which is here on the left. And because we have quite a few, I tend to go through it. Sorry, I didn't mean to go so fast. I tend to go through it in advance, and I color code it. Like yellow, it's getting close, but maybe there's some things that have to happen before it's a better trade setup. Green, it's a go. Red, it's having issues. Not that it's a bad trade or anything, but maybe it like ABBV, you can see dropped so much. But we'll look at the charts and you'll see. I just wanted you to understand the colors first. So
and on that point, the watch list that Eva is showing right now and updating, it's updated dynamically. It's a Google sheet, and members of the Real Traders Club have access to it real time. So if she's updating it, you can go look at it, and you can look at it 24 hours a day, not just during this session. So that's
and
important.
also, yeah, I was going to blow it up so you could see, because you couldn't see the whole thing. It has trigger points, whether it's hit, who made the suggestion, I see a typo there, but some of what we're discussing at the time. So quite a bit of information on that, when it was entered onto the watch list. But we have a long candidate, we have a short candidates list, and then we have what we call the bottom feeders, because some of the bottom feeders we found can make tremendous moves. And with those tremendous moves come very nice profits. So I wanted to just, let me blow up Zen and just start. You can clearly see, we already have the lines drawn in, but you can clearly see the impulsive move up, wave 3, wave 4 came back. If it went below this red line here, it would have disqualified wave 4, but it, was a very clean chart. So 3, 4, and it has started wave 5 up. It's having some trouble. So this was the line I had drawn as what I thought, because there was some resistance along the way here. So I thought this would be a good line to draw. Now it went up over it. It's pulled back, found support on the 50, which is positive, and reversing. So the reason why it's yellow is, if you're aggressive, this meets your trading parameters, go for it. But it's channeling. So you might, and it's finding some resistance at the top of the cloud. So it might be more prudent to be cautious and have it get out of this resistance. It wicks above the line the last few days and today, but it hasn't closed above it. So just making sure that this channel and movement is in an upward direction, because once you're in, stop is here at the 50. Your entry is going to be somewhere, even if you waited to get a new high and had your entry up above here, this is your target, the previous high. Plenty of room to move, plenty of risk to reward. So sometimes it's just good to be patient, but other people are aggressive. They have different trading styles. So everything's pointed out for everyone. So the next one, STKL, that's yellow. So the impulsive move ended up being this big move to the downside. We're looking for a wave 4 retracement. It may have trouble at the 200 and these prior highs, so that's why we have a very conservative target. This channeled quite a bit, broke out of the channel, came back, retested, found support on the bottom of the cloud, and is now coming out of the cloud. So it's out of the cloud resistance. However, it reversed at this point. So again, if you're aggressive, you could take it here. If you're more conservative, because you might even get enough profit between the point it's at and the reversal at 609, because it's a $5.71 stock, or wait, and then the risk to reward could be up to this line. So hopefully, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in chat. But trying to give the new people the background. Now, Pepsi came down today, but Shiv, I don't know if Shiv's on yet, that if he has an open
Shiv is
mic.
on. He's multitasking, so he'll let us know if he's available to jump in.
Okay. So
and we do have, so we have Shiv, we have Grayson, we have Key, we have Danny, several customers who've been around a long time. We know them, we trust them. And if any of you existing customers would like to make a comment, type it in the chat and we will open your mic and you can jump into the conversation. More than welcome to do that.
So in our regular meeting, the mics are open so people can talk freely in the community. So impulsive move up. what Shib liked on Pepsi was this cup, and he was looking for a handle. So was this move down and up? Was that the handle or is that the cup? We're right at the prior high. It pulled back today. So it's looking good. It's got a good target. The stop is here at the cloud. Just, we're having a pullback today. Make sure it reverses, but it could also provide, as you can see, a better entry also. But the trend has been to the upside. It got a higher high before it pulled back. So liking that today. Let's move down. RSG. And when we look at requests, maybe it'll be these less orderly charts so I can point out the difference. But so far you can see everything's really, this almost is similar to Pepsi. It looks like a cup formed and maybe a handle. But coming up to the prior high, it hasn't gotten through. Would like to see it get through that. Again, nice target above. So it's just so close to the prior high and it has reversed off of that. Just don't want to get stuck in that reversal again. Sherwin-Williams had really good earnings this week, shot up, continued up. It pulled back yesterday and it's reversing off of that. You'll find out that I'm the gap queen and always point out the gaps because the gaps give support and resistance often along the way. Stop is at the top of the gap because if it started falling into the gap, there's a good chance it could fall further because support isn't being held. But stop, entry, target looks great. The 200 didn't provide much resistance on the way down, so I'm not as concerned about it on the way up. So Sherwin-Williams, I like that it pulled back yesterday because you don't want to chase something straight up because eventually it does pull back, but you have the high, the pullback, and the reversal. So setting up really, really nice. Waste management. This is one we took a trade on earlier in the year, did well on. And Danny, one of our members, pointed out that it's having another good run. So this was a conservative target, the prior high. It's consolidating a little bit. You can see a wedge forming. Often, though, the strength from the wedge is the direction it goes. Or it could just be a little bit of a pullback and head up. Stop. You've got a gap. So got the top of the gap, entry here, target up there. Looks good. It was up more today and has pulled back. So that was why I had it a green. I would probably make it, stocks constantly are changing, so you have to constantly reevaluate. So we had a short candidate A, BBB, and this will show that sometimes when it comes out, it was consolidating. We just wanted to see it get through this consolidation, and today it gapped down and fell further. It's down 8%. It's red because unless we have a pullback and tighten the stop, risk to reward doesn't exist anymore. So we'll watch this, but if it's not going to be a possible setup, that would be why. I mean, you could not have predicted that it was going to drop 8% with this consolidation. It was having trouble getting through the 50 yesterday. FCX, I put this red because I'm actually considering switching it to a long. And the reason for that is 3, 4 came up. This could be A, B, C. This could be A looking for B up, C down. Or it could be continuation of 5, but it is finding support on the 200-day simple moving average and appears to be reversing. There might not be enough in there for a long, so it might not be a long candidate, but it doesn't look like a short candidate at the moment if it continues to find support on the 200. CBD on the move today. up, but I was thinking it might just give a better entry. It was up more and has pulled back, a little bit of a gap, but overall the trend is to the downside with a target at the prior low. EQ and R. Oh, Shiv said his calls are over. So I like this one because also, we're underneath the 50 now. It's pulling away. Just want to see it keep pulling away. Keep an eye on it because once it gets out of the support, much better. And AMT. Finding support on the 50, the bottom of the cloud, breaks through that. Risk reward to this prior low. Nice setup. Again, some people are more aggressive, but I'm giving both, it's setting up nicely, but if you want to be a little more conservative, then you might want to wait for it to break through the support. Two of the bottom feeders that were making nice moves today, TISI. You have your high, finding support on the 50. If it starts reversing up, could be a nice setup. Ollie. My only concern with OLLI is this gap it reversed right at this gap. So but you might be able to, get enough if it gets out of the support here.
Yeah, and even then, if it does fail at the gap, it's still a $4 or $5 move. That's a 10% move. So
yes, I was
not
liking
bad.
that. Oh, I think the reverse here. You can really get rid of this yellow line at the moment. So yeah, if you just want to see it get out of the cloud, still plenty of room. All right, so with that, I want to get to the requests and not use up all the time, but you have an idea of the watch list now. So let's get to your request. Peter would like to look at ESPR, and we may add some of these to the watch list. So this looks like a bottom feeder. And on bottom feeders, they've usually fallen pretty far. So to first get the big picture, we need to consolidate. So the impulsive move would be here. This would be our wave 3. Now let's move everything over and see what we're looking at now. And I'll do my best to get this blown up. Why this is nice, and I definitely would add this to the bottom feeder list. My only concern is the gap because I'm going to draw a line in. You can see at the bottom of the gap, that was your last reversal point. So want to see, even if you got to the top of the gap, it'd be the 200. So if it starts having some nice momentum, it could be a possible, it could set up nicely even if it reverses at the top of the gap. Kind of like the OLLI one where it's a lower price stock. So you could get enough percentage return that it makes sense. The good thing about it, the positives are it's out of the cloud now. It's out of resistance. It's heading back up. So that's nice. And I am going to add it to our bottom feeder list at 616. And I'm going to give Peter the credit for that. All right, let's look at Merck. Mario would like to look at. Oh, sorry. Fingers went on the wrong keys. So I think you can clearly see that this is a messy chart. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So with that in mind, let's see if we can even, it's a channel type thing. If it breaks out, maybe I'm just looking really hard to see if I can get anything. Oh, if we squish it up good, 3, let me see if It did not invalidate. So this would have been 3, a big channeling 4, 5, some sort of complex correction. It could be starting a new wave count. It's just not clear. So this could be 1, 2, looking for a 3, gets to the prior high. This could be a 3. Just, it's soon, it's choppy. So unfortunately, I can't draw any waves in because it's not conforming. Oh, sorry. I'll look at MRY and see if that conforms more than MRK. MRY doesn't come in. Okay. BITU. BITU is not coming through, Peter, so not sure what you're looking for there. If you're looking for a Bitcoin type sub, GBTC is one we can look at if that's, I'm taking a wild guess. So if it's Bitcoin, 3, 4, 5, some type of complex correction. Oh, BTU. Okay. Oh, there was some kind of complex correction going on, trying to get a new wave count going, just to finish the thoughts on Bitcoin. All right, BTU. So very orderly chart, 3, 4, 5. After wave 5, there's usually some sort of correction. Those are difficult to trade. So kind of waiting for this to settle down and see when the new wave is starting. Facebook was 1, Henry. You beat me to it. That was on my list of things to look at. I thought Facebook looked interesting. So I left this on so you could see this was the impulsive move initially, but it retraced too much. So I'm going to delete this out now, and we just focus on the impulsive move down. So 3, 4 came up towards the gap, popped down, but wave 4 could be more, or it could just channel to the top. I thought stop there. It was up further above the 50-day simple moving average before. Risk to reward to Facebook exists. So I actually like that one a lot, Henry. CMSCA. CMSCA. I think that's Comcast, but I think there's too many symbols for Comcast. So if you want to retype that, that would be great. I have a few more while we wait for that. See, Chevron had fantastic earnings, but they may have a future write-off and it is down. It was initially up. If it could go into a deeper 4, or this could be a shallow 4. So it'd be an interesting one to keep an eye on, because which way it falls from the 50-day simple moving average might be the direction of the wave count. So thought that was interesting. Honeywell, also up today. Impulsive move up, wave 3 down, high, higher low, had a higher high. There is a gap. That is a concern, but it also gapped up today, giving it support. It is filling the gap a little bit now, which often happens, but if it just gets up to the 200-day simple moving average, you could have a stop entry target and have a nice risk to reward there.
Let me jump in real quick.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the screen because I had showed earlier the S&P 500, right, and said, hey, I wouldn't, it's in a channel. I wouldn't trade it until it breaks out of that. It broke out of it. So here's the channel we noted when we first got in here. But you can see price is clearly broken down through the channel now. So that's something new. And so this is a 10-minute chart giving us kind of the big picture roadmap. And now here's a 1-minute chart, which I would actually use 1 or 2 minute for the intraday trade. So now you've got an impulsive move intraday. And so I would use a Fibonacci retracement line. Look for a retracement up toward this area, these blue lines, which is the midpoint of that's going to be about 423, in this range. And if you get a retracement up into here, and then a reversal and it starts heading down, that could be the trade. I wouldn't take it short. You're chasing it. It's going to correct more than likely up, but the next leg down could have some real profit potential. And that may be, an hour or two out, but we got a lot of trading session left here today. That would be my roadmap for watching the intraday. And we point this out quite often when we see it setting up. But I just saw it and I wanted to bring it to your attention. And now back to your regular scheduled program.
Okay. I've got Henry's request up here. Comcast. So Henry, this was originally wave 3, but this move down has invalidated this, similar to the one I showed earlier. So we'll delete that. This becomes the impulsive move down. We had been looking at this before. That's why we have so many lines in at a different time. Clean that up. It's too late to chase this down. It's dropped, and you could be at the tail end of this impulsive move, maybe not. It's going to be a tough one to trade because you've got some gaps, but once it levels off, if you see it start up, you could look for the wave 4 retracement, but it's not there right now. A few more I just wanted to pull up. LH looked also one that I would add to the watch list today. 3, nice. It's got a gap, but it was filling the gap. It's pulled back. Want to see the gap filled, but it appears to be starting. It's the very beginning, so it needs to prove itself more, but interesting enough to put on the watch list. PayPal, a bottom feeder. It appears to be coming off the bottom. It was up today. It's now down, but then you have your high. It's pulling back. Now we look for a higher high. And it also has a gap, or it has this reversal area, but depending upon risk to reward, you might be able to get the risk to reward up to that, but needs to set up more. It's the beginning, but I just wanted to point that out. And Moderna, again, another one where the move down invalidated the impulsive move up. So 3, 4, again, a high, higher low, heading back up through the cloud. So, get through some of this resistance, see what the risk reward is. You could make a nice move even to the prior high here. So I think, let me double check our chat. I think I got through everyone's request. Oh, Grayson.
Grayson has made her presence known. And Grayson, if you'd like to speak, I can enable your microphone here. I just click the button.
I was just going to suggest that because I always like to see what Grayson's thoughts are on her selections. Because Grayson usually is running scans, and so she gets her things in right towards the end because she's, quickly doing scans as the market's opening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Grayson.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, I think my lateness has to do with I was always at the end of the alphabet. My last name is Wynn. So, yeah, there's something about always going last.
Are you looking at this for a short?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's early, but it's been going up a long time, and it just made that lower high, lower low sort of pattern and breaking through the cloud.
So would you like to just see it get through the support?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, something for the watch list, but it was down yesterday on an up day. And if you look at it on the weekly too, you can see how far this thing has been moving. So it would just be, kind of a normal pullback after such a big move. And it does have room to go down to the cloud on the weekly with nothing in the way there. So
definitely. No, it looks good, both the weekly and the daily with
I like it. I definitely like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's hard to catch the ones early sometimes. And I know those wave 4s get a little ugly, but yeah, that one just has not pulled back yet.
Yeah, it could even it found support on the 50 earlier today and pulled back from there. So maybe just get through the 50.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Another good one for our watch list. All right. The next one you had was TRP, also for a short.
I keep calling that TRIP, but it's Transcanada Corp.
Okay. So what are you looking at? Sorry, I'm trying to.
Short, and it's breaking out of the cloud.
Are you looking at it
just-
more as like a correction, or are you looking
And I would
at
use
this as
that. I would just use that latest move from December, January as
Right.
take a
Yeah.
retracement off of that. Yeah, it's got
so
room to the
down
200.
to the 200? Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you look at the symmetry on the chart for its down moves, when it decides to go, it does go down. Like that last red area on the chart.
Yes.
Yeah.
It dropped. And this seems like it's a floor. So, this could actually head down more, but conservatively put it at the 200, but it definitely has room to go. And this one's a good setup right now because it's broken out of support.
And I like your comment, Grayson, on the symmetry. And if you notice, it does have good symmetry for the up moves to the down moves. And what's cool for a short on this one is this thing takes the stairs up and the elevator down.
Yeah. Straight down.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one meets the parameters for a setup right now. So if it meets other people's trading rules, it could be a really nice.
And one
trade.
thing we always check, we don't want to go take a new position right into earnings and be disrupted. So I'm looking to see what their earnings date is scheduled for. Let me see. Survey says April 29th, before the open. So they reported this morning. So this is clear. And the nice thing is if you are going to trade it with options, right after the announce, there's what's called a IV crush. So the price of the options going into earnings, there's typically a real buildup of implied volatility in the pricing. And right afterwards, there's less unknown. So the price of the options drops and you can get a good price on that. So I like it.
This has a little bit of a wedge forming. It's up today. Did I
Yeah,
put
that
the right
one
number in?
reported earnings.
So
Today.
you have it as a long because I was like, is this too
Oops.
late for a short?
I missed it today too. The price bar is gapped up. Oops, everything's off. That's why we wouldn't have taken the short into earnings. That is the case study. Sorry.
No, so let me get that. Yeah, it's nice because, well, it was up above the cloud. But if it continues to find support in the cloud and the 50-day moving average, the gap will provide support. Could have a very conservative trade just up to the 50 or the 200, but it could go higher. So it looks good. Just don't want to chase it on an 11% day. That's would be my only, don't want to chase.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting to chase, but I would hold on too with the way things have whipped around a bit. But if you see that starting to fill the gap and turn around, definitely.
Yeah, you could have
got support at the cloud. It jumped right up onto the 50, which is so amazing how they do that. So
but it's nice that it's finding support there now. That's a very positive thing.
Yeah.
And it did reverse where it channeled before. Let's see, the top of the wick is basically where it was consolidating before it went down. So because of that, you want to make sure, like Grayson was saying, that maybe you'll fill the gap a little bit, and then you want to make sure it's heading up, just because it just gapped to the reversal point.
Yeah, and this one actually did have good earnings, so it actually jumped on good earnings.
Oh,
Which is,
something new.
I know, sometimes they jump on bad earnings or fall on good earnings, but this one kind of lined up, and the chart, moves pretty solidly without, um, you know, too much up and down movement. And it looks like it had an ABC down to the fib retracement there at almost like 50%. So that's nice too, that you can actually get some wave counts.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, which, puts this, and even where it came down to, this is a pretty strong, support area also. So just adds to that this could be where it's starting the wave 5 up. Okay, very
And
good.
let's go back to TRP because that was the one I liked, and then you switched symbols I didn't notice. So this still is a good trade, right? TRP, and they did announce earnings this morning, and so this one could be taken right away. It's qualified. Eva's got the stop there at the gap, entry right now, target down at the 200. So that is an actionable trade, in my opinion, right now.
And if you can't see the numbers, the stop's 56.05, entries roughly at 54.56, and target 51.04. All right. Any other comments, anyone? Any other requests? Anything else anyone would like to look at? What I end up doing is after the trading or the club, the session ends, I go and do a summary for everyone to see of the watch list as it stands at the end of our discussion. Oh, so Rick's commenting that the spreads are pretty wide on the monthly. So, oh, got a couple more requests. So as Dean will attest, I cannot ever log off if there's requests. GE is heading down. Let's see what's going on there. So impulsive move up. It channeled quite a bit. Let's see if this invalidates or if it meets the parameters. So it's in a very nice retracement at the moment, has not found the bottom. Wouldn't keep chasing this down. It's going to have an obstacle when it does start wave 5 because it has that gap it needs to get through. It's got a teeny little gap here, and that could be providing the support it currently has because it wicked below there, went up, now back there. It's right around where this gap is. So we'll see if that holds. That gives it a floor and 5 starts. Or if this keeps heading down, goes below this red line, then this becomes the impulsive move. But at this point, you wouldn't chase this. It wouldn't be a good short at this point. INMD.
And we'll wrap it up there. We're almost at an hour, so we want to.
Okay, and again, you can see this was the impulsive move, but it's come down way too far. IMD. This is the impulsive move down right now. It doesn't appear to have found its floor yet, so need to see the floor found, need to see a high, higher low, higher high to start looking for a trade to the wave 4 retracement area. So with that, it was really nice spending the morning with everyone. So I'm going to pass it back to Dee.
All right. Thank you, Eva. Good job as always. Thank you, Grayson, for joining in. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And so again, this is the official launch of the Real Traders Club. And we do these sessions Monday through Thursday in the morning, half hour after the morning open, and you get a sense of, kind of how that flows and what we're doing here. The whole idea is to find great trade candidates for you. Eva and I provide the results of our scanning. We look at the ideas from you guys, the participants. We put them on a watch list. We maintain that. And we also do training as we go here. Just explain what we're looking for, answer questions. And, if you participate and watch, you're going to learn a lot. I'm showing we do have a forum, and an awful lot of information is posted here. Your like the watch list. If you sign up for the service, as a subscriber, you have access to that watch list that Eva was showing, right? It's updated, it's dynamic, and you can just click on it and see it real time like that. So that's always available. And then there's always a lively discussion going on. It's moderated, it's constructive, there's no trolls here. And there's several, discussion areas, our live sessions, the picks, this is our pick service, traders ideas, all kinds of good stuff here, what's going on in terms of big news. So it's a great place to connect with both us, the moderators, and the other traders between the sessions. And Eva always posts a summary of the top trade ideas, from the watch list after the live sessions here in the watch list section. And you can see we always do a update, right? And there's some comments about things to watch. So again, we're trying to have the best trading community ever, right? And I think Tapas asked, what's the cost here? So, hey, trading's a journey. I like to say this is the Real Traders Club, right? And we all need help on our journey, right? So don't go alone, but we invite you to join us on this path, right? And what we're providing ultimately is some experienced guides, some tools, and helpful companions on this journey. And if you'd like to join this, there's a special offer here. So you can join the Real Traders Club Live, be with us on a daily basis for $57 a month, right? And if, we think that's a very reasonable price. If you look, like one of the trade ideas that we generated was the Schwab short, right? It's in 11% profit on the shares, which would be $800 profit. And if you took the options and we explain how to do that, that's 102% profit, right? And, so that one's up. The other one that we took, Walgren Boots, is, underwater a little bit, but you can see our mantra is keep the winners big, losers small, and that's what's happening. And by the way, Walgreens is starting to look like it could be a great entry if you're interested in that one. Let it break through this low, and that could be a great short. So $57 a month. It's a monthly subscription. You can try it for a month. It's going to be $57, and then it renews each month, and you can cancel any time. There's no commitment. Okay, let me post the link for that in the chat box if you would like to sign up real quick. Everyone, here is the link. And we're going to send out an email with a recording, a link to the recording. We'll send this link as well. So there's the link if you'd like to sign up. And there's a bonus, right? Since we're launching, we want to give you something extra. And that would be, you see us using the Ichimoku Cloud. I have a proprietary approach to that, to settings and some training that goes along with that. I have a custom indicator that can be installed on Thinkorswim. And so there's no software to buy. This is a course, right? It's got a written study guide. It's got training videos that's listed on my website for $247, but you can get it for free today if you jump into this launch of the Real Traders Club Live, right? And so you get, the Real Traders Club Live, and you get the Ichimoku Cloud course, and that's only until Monday. When we launch our next session with the new members on Monday, right, then everybody's welcome to sign up, but the bonus of the Ichimoku Cloud then would end. So there's the link in the chat box, and I'd love to have you join and be part of it on an ongoing basis. And if you scroll back, he had made a comment, or, it just really warms my heart. He said, hey, this is not just a trading service. It's, it's a family, it's a community. And, he's been with us for a while, and, he's expressing that he got a lot of help, and we hear that from a lot of people. So, I mean, that just warms my heart. Thank you, Key, for that comment. And thank you, right? Thanks for showing up. I hope you found it valuable. We did find some actionable trade ideas. I showed you a roadmap for intraday on the S&P 500. And here comes that correction up. So let that play out, and then there may be a short opportunity coming. And then probably the best one that we saw, there was lots of great candidates on the watch list, just waiting for criteria. If you sign up, you're going to get that watch list. You can watch those things. But that TRP I really like that trade. That looked ready to go right now. I'll probably be taking that trade and publishing it to the subscribers. That's a nice trade. So, all right. Hey, Joseph, thanks for that comment. Yeah, we think it's a fair price, right? We want to give a good value here. So we'll hang out and answer any questions if you are trying to place an order, have any issues. Joseph is in. Nice. We look forward to seeing you Monday in the room and participating. All right. Anybody else who has questions, again, we are here. I'll hang out and just answer any question you have. And thanks. And have a great weekend. Great rest of your Friday. All right. I'm going to go on mute for a minute. Oh, LP, you are welcome. Bill, yeah, if you click that link, Bill, it's going to bring up a PayPal option for you. And I'll go ahead and do that. I'll show you. There's the link. Takes you to a checkout page. There it is, $57 a month, cancel anytime. We list all the features, and you can put a credit card in, or you can click the PayPal button and do it that way. All right, any other questions anybody has? All right, Bill is joining. Awesome. Look forward to seeing you Monday morning, Bill. I'll post that link again so it's kind of at the easy to find. All right, I'm going to go on mute for a minute. I'll just keep watching to see if any questions come in. I'm going to drink a little coffee and just hang out here. We'll end the recording. Go ahead and do that now.